And I was handed this screenplay by Abby Morgan, which was an early draft based on Claire's book, The Invisible Woman. And I read the screenplay, and it affected me, the story of Nellie Turner. And in this early draft, which is very different from the shooting script that we finally locked, but it was essentially a similar structure of a woman living a life, married, running a school, and then we go back in time and learn about her past. And I think what hooked me was the idea of someone carrying within them an unresolved relationship, or the history of a relationship. And then I read Claire's book, and that completely, I was smitten by the story of Nellie Turner, and suddenly my eyes were opened to Dickens in all his complexity and all his many facets. And then I didn't read every single Dickens, but I gobbled up David Copperfield and Bleak House and Great Expectations and Our Mutual Friend. And now I'm a convert. It came with the same invitation to direct and possibly to play Dickens, and I initially said no, I don't think I could. I didn't think I could, but then in the process of working on the screenplay with Abby Morgan, I got to rehearse Dickens. I got to retest and speak out loud in my kitchen with Abby typing away on the computer, everybody's lines, in fact. And I became, I suppose, enamoured of the role of Dickens in the process, and then having said no and been reluctant, I then said, I think I should play. In the story of Dickens and Nellie, the story for me this is the story of how Ellen Turner came to be the mistress of Charles Dickens, not their life together. I mean, in adapting any kind of biography, I think this wasn't going to be a full biopic of Ellen Turner, or of course of Charles Dickens. It's her story, but it was the story, what I thought was dramatically most interesting was the path that led Nellie to say to Dickens yes, the choices and the situations she was confronted with. So the final scene between them, when he sets her up in the house, that's the conclusion of that story. The other ending is the ending in the school. I mean, I felt very strongly that we needed to have Nellie somehow give utterance to what had happened to her, to speak. The Reverend Benham, who is played by John Kavanagh, is a real figure, and Claire Tomalin writes about him in her book, and he was apparently, possibly, the only person who, apart from maybe her mother or her sisters, that she talked to. So I used the idea of Benham as a sounding board, as someone who would listen. So what I feel is she has been able to speak about it. It's given her a degree of closure, but she goes back into her life and she says to her husband, I am here, meaning I am here fully for this continuing life with you. And she sits down and she watches a play with her son, but it's a play written or co-written by Charles Dickens and Wilkie Collins. And so I want the audience to watch her face and to engage with what she might be engaging with, which is a mass of things. Her life, her future, her son, the theatre where she was an actress. And for some reason, so it's all those things, which is why I deliberately want the audience to watch what goes on. And Felicity, who I'm very sorry to say can't be here, she's filming at the moment, but in that one moment, she does an extraordinary piece of film acting, where, subtext that you were right. I mean, she inhabited in the face the best kind of inspired stuff. It's a mystery. What goes through her whole life, the whole world goes through her face. And then we end on Abby Morgan's little epilogue, I should say, from the play, which I think is very succinct and moving. So it's, I guess it's better to have loved than never to have loved at all, whatever the cost and the wounds that it's given you. But for sure, Dickens and the memory of Dickens will always be there.